Hey, what's up? Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington, and I am solo today, but still got to review Halo Season number 2, Episode number 4, Reach. Right now, this is Thursday. Right now, I just watched it. IMDb is giving this a 9.1 thus far. And I can see why. You know why? Because this episode was pretty dope. Now, if you consider Season 1, and now we're into Season 2, I'm going to say this right now. This is just me. This episode thus far, considering Season 1 and thus far what we've seen like with Season 2, this episode right now is the best episode I've seen when it comes to Halo, right? Best episode. I mean, I know IMDb thus far is giving it a 9.1. That's pretty cool. But this episode was pretty dope. I've never played Halo, but, I've watched video gameplay on YouTube, watched some of the Halo movies. I rented some of the Halo movies, and I kind of got a grasp of what Halo is all about. But this episode right here, wow. I mean, this episode looked great. This episode looked like a video game. Think about that. This episode looked like a video game. Lots of fighting in this joint. Lots of explosions, and some things were, also revealed as well. So one of the things, this is just my take on it, right? So when Halsey and, Soren was basically together and they were trying to escape and everything, it sounds like Halsey was basically saying that Soren could have been the Master Chief, but some stuff went down. And, John, 117 stepped up and he became Master Chief, right? But is it me or, Master Chief and Soren, when they were fighting together, they look like they just knew what each other was doing. So I was just like, wow, this joint is pretty dope, right? Soren, I never knew what was Soren's deal. I mean, he was like basically in control of the Rebel, that little planet of gangsters, really. And I was just like, why is he here? So now we see that Soren has a role. And I'm really interested to see if he's going to join or at least help the Spartans, defeat, the Covenant, because these Covenants, the elite Covenants, these joints, these soldiers are ridiculous. I mean, they come at you and they come at you with a lot of people. So right now, Reach is being glassed. I mean, there's a fight going on. There's a war going on. I mean, all of the high-level military people, all of the high-level O&I people bounce. Ackerman bounce. Where's Kai? We don't know. But everyone bounced. And here's the other thing. This is the really weird thing. I mean, why would you do this, right? So they bounce. They're like, you know what? It's going to be 1.2, 1.5, 2 million people is going to be killed once this is all said and done on Reach. They bounce and take the Spartan armor with them. So the Spartans have nothing. So they're out there, bareback, fighting the Covenant, the elites. And they're doing an okay job. And wow, that first fight scene where John was fighting one of the Covenant, wow, he's, that looked like a video game. That was pretty slick. I was like, wow, this is getting good. And here's the thing, right? So if you're going to give us this, right? If you're going to give us this episode, episode number 4, Reach, if you're going to give us this episode, how are you going to move forward? Because I don't think you can sort of bring it down a notch. You have to keep it going. It has to get better and better and better, right? I mean, yes, you can have little scenes where you're trying to, just explain what's going on, but just these really long 10, 15-minute scenes where you just have dialogue, it's just that's corny. This is Halo, These are the Spartans. They're supposed to be out there kicking butt. And that's what they did without the armor. Now, let's discuss the elephant in the room with this episode, because there is an elephant in the room. And I don't care about this, but, I was reading some comments and people were talking about this, how in this episode number 4, Reach, 3 black people were just killed off. Vanek, Lewis, and who's the other black person? Okay, you had Vanek, Lewis, and Jacob Keyes, the Admiral, right? Killed. Jacob Keyes went out hardcore though. You know, all of them went out hardcore as a matter of fact, right? They didn't go out like some Willy Lump Lump characters. They went out hardcore. You know, Keyes went out smoking a pipe. You know, I mean, how hardcore is that, right? And, you know, like Vanek, I mean, he's a Spartan and he's done, right? He's part of the Silver Team and he's done, you know. And Lewis, that's the guy, the blind guy that, you know, Riz was always, you know, messing around with. He's done as well, right? So it's just like, wow, you killed off 3 black characters, like not main characters, but secondary characters in one episode. What's that all about? Anyway, that's, you know, that's the elephant in the room. You know, if you read some of these comments, people are just like, wow, why did they, you know, kill off 3 black people? I don't care about that. The show, the episode itself was pretty dope. It was pretty slick. And the other thing is Maki, she came and took Cortana. Cortana is gone, you know, but here's the thing, right? I like to speculate on stuff like this, right? It's just like, okay, Cortana is an AI, right? So you mean to tell me that Halsey doesn't have some sort of a backup plan that can, you know, that she can, you know, basically introduce and regain like Cortana? I know there's like some sort of a puck that, you know, Maki took and she, you know, basically took Cortana, but I've got to, Halsey, as smart as she is, she's got to have a backup plan to get Cortana back. She was pretty upset that Cortana was taken by Maki though, right? So the battle was pretty dope. I mean, you had like a couple battles in this episode. They were pretty dope. You had a lot of explosions. Quan wasn't in the episode, so we didn't have to deal with the quantize of her. And once she quantizes the episode, I'm pretty much not feeling it, right? But she wasn't there, right? But she's gotten a lot mature too, right? But she wasn't there. You had like the Spartans battling. You had like the military, the Marines battling. I mean, the fight scenes were this episode was the slickest episode, right? The slickest episode. So, you know, you also have Perez. Now, Perez, you know, she's coming along too. I'm just like, okay, get your emotions together. You know, I know your family and your friends, they're not here anymore because, you know, the Covenant was basically destroying, you know, Reach. And they actually destroyed probably, you know, her house and everything else, right? CGI was pretty dope. Special effects was pretty dope. I mean, the episode is still a little dark in the beginning. It was a little dark. I mean, I watched this like not only like in the AM, but also like maybe just like 2 hours ago. And, you know, I'm still like, you know, closing blinds, you know, just trying to like fix everything. You know, it's so interesting that when you watch these TV shows or even movies, whatever, right? And then you have to go into your TV settings and adjust the contrast and the brightness and stuff like that. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I know, you know, if it's really dark, it looks really cool. But even when it's really dark, sometimes you still have to go in and change the settings, you know? So I don't know about that. You know, that's pretty interesting, right? But back to the episode, it's pretty dope. And here's the thing, right? So if the Spartans' armor is gone, right? We know now that Cortana, that Halsey is now, you know, she was reintroduced, not reintroduced, but her and, you know, John, Master Chief, met up. So I just think that Halsey, she's got a backup plan. I mean, this is a brilliant, like, scientist. The Spartans are her baby. Cortana is a baby. She didn't just make this stuff, say, okay, this is it, and doesn't have a backup plan. She's gotta have a backup plan. So I'm guessing there's some like maybe even better armor. Do you also think, leave a comment, Soren will be reintroduced back into the Spartan, you know, program? I mean, I know he's not like 8 feet tall or anything like that, but yo, Soren was kicking butt out there. You know, I was just like, again, throughout the entire season 1 and up to now, I was just like, what's going on with Soren? And now it's just like, okay, this guy can kick butt. All right, this is pretty cool, right? So I don't know what's going on with Kai. Maybe like Ackerman took Kai with him, I should say. And they bounced. They're just like, yo, Reach is done. We got to get up out of here. So they took all the top level military officials, everyone is gone. And they left, well, they didn't leave because Jacob Keyes was just like, no, I'm staying here to fight. So he died in the process, or he got killed in the process. Again, so did Vanek, he's a Spartan. So did Lewis, who was a former Spartan who lost his vision. And this was a pretty good episode. So, and again, it looked great. It looked like a video game. I don't understand why each and every episode of Halo doesn't look like this. Halo is a video game. This joint should look like a video game, which means your CGI, your special effects, that's the easy stuff, right? There should be bang bang throughout every episode. Give me a little bit of, storyline, but don't go too crazy on the storyline. And let's see like some Spartan stuff. Let's see some like Master Chief stuff. Let's see some Silver Team stuff. And stop it with these conversations and walking and talking, right? This is a great episode. I am going to give this episode, me personally, a 10 because I'm going to finish the video and watch it again. That's how dope it was. So Halo Season 2, episode number 4 reached. I am giving it a 10. This was a great episode. Go check it out. It is dope. It is fire. And it feels like the video game. Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington. Until next time, peace.